Welcome to our third weekly prayer experience. I hope you guys have really enjoyed these and have actually been taking time on your own to meditate on the scriptures. This week, we want to take time to meditate on Psalm 91, verse 1. And here's what it says. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, that's verse 2 also. I just mean verse 1. So, for those of you that haven't hopped on for our weekly prayer experience, this is a simple way that we can meditate on the scriptures, and I'll just briefly cover it. If you've heard me say this the past 2 weeks, you can skip on ahead. But up here in the left-hand column, we have the scripture section where we write down Psalm 91, verse 1. On the right-hand side, we have our tasks column. We all get distracted at some point when we're reading scripture. We start to think about, what am I going to eat for dinner? Who do I need to call? We start to think about that girl that we want to text, or for girls, that boy that you want to text. And so just write that in the column so you don't stay distracted, and keep moving on. Keep meditating on the passage. In the bottom column, we have what's called the pursuits section. And this is meant to write down anything that you want to pursue more in depth in this scripture. So for example, when it says the shelter of the Most High in Psalm 91 verse 1, you may want to explore what is the Hebrew word for shelter, or what is David saying when he says shelter. And you can write that down, and later on, when you're not meditating, you can research that. And then right here is where you guys will write down your meditation on the passage. So the first thing that you do, which we did when we opened this video, was we read it, and then we write down a specific phrase from that text. So for us, we'll meditate on he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. So we would write that right here, and then we would speak it. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. And then we would pray it. Father, I want to dwell in your shelter. You are the Most High God. And then, like I said, the past 2 weeks, I'm not going to sing it for you. And then you can draw it. And really, doing these things repeatedly is meditating on the passage. And as you sing it, as you pray it, as you draw it, as you read it, as you write it, thoughts come to mind. What is the shelter of the Most High? What can I find in the shelter of the Most High God? What am I protected from in the shelter of the Most High? We begin to have these questions and these thoughts. And you can begin to write those. You can draw a shelter. There's a lot of things that you can do in that meditation section. And again, it really moves the word off the pages into our hearts. For this week, I encourage you to meditate on Psalm 91, verse 1. And once you're through doing that a couple times, move on to another verse in Psalm 91. Bless you guys. Have a great week, and we will see you next week.